It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 8th day of July, 2022. Coming to you from Bedford County, Virginia, Central Virginia area, right near Lynchburg. Today, folks, the lead story is MSC cruise ship suffers engine issues. So it's not just involved with some of the ships that we've been seeing, Carnival and Royal Caribbean. It's spread to another line. Today, folks, is National Blueberry Day. So you might want to go out and pick some blueberries if they're ready. Mine aren't ready yet. But, or you could maybe go to the store and get some blueberries. And, you know, there's all kinds of things you can do with blueberries. Cruise ship sailing today from North American ports. In Boston, we got the Norwegian Pearl sailing today without hot air Tom. New York, Brooklyn, we've got the Queen Mary II sailing back to England. Bayonne, we have Oasis of the Seas. Port Canaveral, Independence of the Seas, and the Carnival Freedom. Down in Miami, the Scarlet Lady, Norwegian Sky, Carnival Conquest, and Freedom of the Seas. Galveston, we got Grandeur of the Seas. Out in Long Beach, Los Angeles, Carnival Radiance, San Pedro, Navigator of the Seas. And up in Seattle, the Celebrity Solstice, Ovation of the Seas, and Oceana Regatta all sail from Seattle. Vancouver, we've got Celebrity Millennium cruise and land packages. We've got the MV Ocean Victory cruise. In Juneau, the Seabourn Odyssey cruise. In Anchorage, we've got the Radiance of the Sea cruise and land package. And we also have land packages for the Grand Princess and for Zuiderdam. And in Fairbanks, land packages for the New Amsterdam and the Grand Princess. Today's headlines, other than MSC cruise ship suffers engine issue. Another brawl, folks. This is getting ridiculous. This one on the Carnival ship based out of Jacksonville. Multiple injuries this time. Celebrity alters its Baltic sailings for 2023. Holland America offers new Alaskan culinary creations. Spirit postpones the Frontier merger vote. New Margaritaville joint to open in the Caribbean. And a whole lot more here at 11 o'clock this morning on Travel and Cruise Industry News. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from, all the big guys, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and voila, up pops the fat travel guy. And as always, if you'd like to jump over to the video feed while you're listening to the podcast, there'll be a link in the description so you can jump over and check out any pictures or clips or whatever that might be a part of that day's broadcast. So, all right. I will be back with today's news after a word from one of our network sponsors. All right, on with the news for today. Top story has to do with our friends over at MSC. MSC Cruises has started to communicate to guests that the MSC Seaside cruise ship based in the Mediterranean is suffering from an engine issue impacting the ship's cruising speed. Sound familiar? As a result, the vessel is being taken out of service to be repaired. They're not messing around with this one. Seaside's current voyage, which started July the 4th, includes stops in Palermo, Ibiza, Valencia, Marseille, Genoa, and Civitavecchia, which includes multiple debarkation ports with adjusted arrival and departure times due to the cruising speed. When the cruise ends on the 11th, Seaside will immediately go to dry dock at Fincantieri shipyard in Palermo for repairs. None of this screwing around for a couple weeks. They're going straight in there and getting it fixed. The Seaside will return to service as usual with the engine issued repair, if all goes well, on July the 19th. So, if the guests that are booked on the canceled sailings will have the option of rebooking on one of 11 other MSC cruise ships currently sailing in the Mediterranean for free, or another alternative is MSC Seaside Cruise can also be an option. Guests that choose to rebook will receive a refundable onboard credit of up to 400 euros per person. So that's the Seaside. Interesting that, Quantum of the Seas is still sailing around with issues, and they keep, screwing the public out of what was promised them. Of course, they're compensating them, so I'm not faulting them, but goodness gracious, get it to dry dock, get it fixed. I realize you're claiming that it's a part issue, but if MSC can do it, why can't you? I wonder. All right, this is the troubling thing. And this, all the years I've been doing this, I have not ever reported on this before like I have the last 2 weeks. Brawls on cruise ships. Got to make some changes on this one, folks. So there was a brawl on the Carnival Elation. Injured some people. The fight broke out as the ship was on its way back to Jacksonville late Wednesday night toward the end of a 5-day cruise. At least 8 people were involved in the altercation. One woman attempted to intervene, was knocked to the ground. Another woman from Atlanta reported that both of her grandparents were injured. They weren't in the fight, but they were injured. One sustained a concussion and one an injured wrist. Security officers eventually broke up the fight. So we've had, one on Navigator of the Seas, one on the Carnival Magic, one at Bimini, and now one on Carnival Elation. First of all, I hope the cruise lines are taking these jackasses, excuse my French, and banning them from life from being on a cruise ship. And then they need to publicize that that's what they're doing to anybody that's in a brawl. You're banned, doomed, gone. And then the cruise line you need to take a hard look at the alcohol consumption. Your beverage packages that are fanning the flames. You got the beverage packages that they're so expensive that people look at what they have to pay and they got to drink like 13 drinks a day to make it work, and it's too much alcohol. I don't get it. But the first thing to do, if you get in a brawl, ban them. Done. Off the cruise ship, never to come back. And then let's look at the policy. Let's look at the drink packages. Maybe there's a better way I'm not saying do away with drink packages. Maybe you want to make the price a little more reasonable so somebody doesn't think they have to drink that many a day to get their money's worth. That might be one solution. All right. As regional tensions continue to be a concern for travelers and tourists, Celebrity has announced it has decided to remove calls to St. Petersburg, Russia for its 2023 Baltic sailing itineraries. A total of 8 cruises are impacted aboard 2 ships planned to be sailing in the region during the spring and summer of 2023. St. Petersburg is often considered the jewel of the Baltic itineraries and is a bucket list destination for many travelers. Cruising makes it easy to visit the spectacular city, but cruise lines always keep the safety of their passengers and crew members as the top priority. Because of the regional tensions and the ongoing conflict, the cruise line believes it is best to alter itineraries for 2023. 2 Celebrity cruise vessels are impacted by this change, Celebrity Silhouette and the Celebrity Apex. Both ships will have 4 itineraries changed to remove St. Petersburg. The cruises are not being canceled, and the cruise line is working to provide an alternative port of call for travelers to enjoy. So that's what's happening over there. Not unexpected. I think they're the first one to cancel that far out. All right, Holland America. Some of you have never sailed on Holland America. I have sailed on them. I really like Holland America. I love the food. Well, they've recently debuted 3 new dishes from Culinary Council member chef Ethan Stoll that were developed in alliance with the Alaska Seafood Marketing Institute. This is the first formal relationship of its kind between the Alaska Seafood Marketing Institute and a major cruise line. ASMI is a public-private partnership between the state of Alaska and the Alaska seafood industry, established to foster economic development of the state's renewable natural resources. Chef Stoll's new creations will be featured in the dining room on all 6 Holland American line ships cruising in Alaska this season. Guests can indulge in a fried Alaska cod sandwich with malt vinegar aioli, savory cabbage coleslaw, Alaska salmon chop with cucumber, tomato, avocado, bacon, and green beans, and roasted fennel-crusted Alaskan halibut with artichokes and Tagigasi olives. This in addition to several Alaska seafood dishes already on menus throughout the ships. All right, Fred Olsen. We don't get to talk about Fred Olsen a whole lot. This is a pretty heavy day for the European news, folks, and a little weak on the U.S. news today. But for the first time since 2019, Fred Olsen Cruise Line will resume sailings from Scotland aboard Balmoral. This was according to a press release yesterday. The Balmoral, which welcomed first guests back on board in May of 2022, will set sail from Edinburgh today for an 8-night Hidden Gems of the Norwegian Fjords cruise, taking travelers to places that I cannot pronounce. Njord Fjord, Sjønjern Fjord, Fugenlands Fjord, Eves Fjord, Molde, Skjolden. My tongue just doesn't work that way. And Olden. I can pronounce that one. The Balmoral, named after Queen Elizabeth II's Scottish estate, joined the company's new ship, Ballet and Borealis. both of whom resumed cruising in 2021. So, congratulations for Scotland and the Balmoral. All right, Spirit Airlines, folks. Again, we don't talk about airlines a whole lot, but this does affect people getting to cruises. Spirit's shareholder vote on the Frontier merger is facing a rolling delay. So the third delay of the meeting came late yesterday before the vote was supposed to take place. The meeting, which had been postponed last week and earlier in June, is now scheduled for next Friday. Spirit said it was delayed and it was delaying the vote to continue discussions with Frontier and JetBlue Airways, the two airlines that are trying to engineer a merger with Spirit. The delay could signal improving odds of JetBlue's bid, which would offer shareholders a substantially bigger payout. And finally, in the news today, folks, Jimmy Buffett. We all know about Jimmy Buffett. Margaritaville's brand is opening another new all-inclusive resort in the Caribbean. This time it's adults only. Margaritaville and Charisma Hotels and Resorts are collaborating on the new Margarita Island Reserve Riviera Maya, slated to open in 2023 as the brand's first adult-only resort. The property will feature 355 suites in 13 categories, along with 9 food and beverage concepts, 3 swimming pools, 2 pickleball courts, a Saint Somewhere spa, and first Land Shark Brewery in Mexico. I wonder how long it's going to take. Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, you know, our little cruise line that can, out of West Palm Beach. How long is it going to take them to graduate from the 2-day cruises to Freeport, to taking passengers from West Palm Beach, sailing over to the resort like they're going to open there in Costa Riviera Maya, dropping them off, going on with their sailing, come back to pick them up on the next cruise, or they could fly home from there. They could do that in a number of the places where they have facilities in the Caribbean. Make use of that little cruise ship that's running back and forth to Freeport, for heaven's sakes. There's just a suggestion, Mr. Jimmy Buffett and my buddy O'Neill Cosa. All right. That's it for the news today, folks. Let's jump over and see who's with us in the chat room. Hot Air Tom is here. Hot Air Tom just checked into a hotel there in Boston. Oh, that's what he says. Coming to you today from the 11th floor of the Intercontinental Hotel in Boston. We have a corner room with a great view. Did you get pictures posted, Tom, before I came on? The pictures hadn't loaded yet. I will bring those to you on the next broadcast. Gretchen's with us. Nikki's here. Hi, Nikki. Great hotel, Tom. We stayed there before cruising out of Boston in 2014. His room video didn't download to me. Okay, well, we'll do it again. Nikki says, I'm making watermelon rind pickles, a real southern thing. Now, the only problem, Nikki, is thing is supposed to be spelled T-H-A-N-G, not T-H-I-N-G. You have to get the southern spelling and not the legal spelling because of your legal background. I'm just saying. That's a thing for us Southerners. Hot Air says, bad messenger. Yes, it is. Cindy's with us. Hi, Cindy. Travels with Lizzie. Hi, Lizzie. Good to have you with us again. I can pick them. I have a MSC Seaside booked next June. Yeah, well, they'll be fixed. I'm telling you, they're not going to screw with it. They're putting that sucker straight to dry dock and fixing it, and it'll be out in a week and back to being fine. I thought when I first saw that story, it was the seashore that I was on, but it's the seaside. So, Katie's with us. Hi, Katie. How's things up there in Massachusetts? Emily's with us up in New York. I am. All right, guys. Glad to see all of you this morning. I'm planning on spending some time out at the pool today. Because of doing both shows yesterday, I didn't go out. As you can tell, I have no major side effects yet. I don't feel 100%. I feel a little queasy-ish, but not bad. But today, of course, is day 2, taking those ridiculously expensive pills. So anyway, I am going to head out to the pool here shortly. For the afternoon. And my throat's gone. So I will see everybody tomorrow. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.